Thank you for calling Late Night Taco Delivery. If you are calling to place an order, unfortunately the store is closed due to the fact that we are about to record a podcast. We'll be closed for another half an hour-ish. If you're calling to listen to the show, congratulations, you are just in time. So kick back, relax, and enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to Late Night Taco Delivery, the Road Show.
Late Night Taco Delivery, the Road Show! Yay!
I'm your host, Daniel Gill.
And I'm Jonathan Knoll.
And John's got to be very quiet tonight, because John is staying in a large house in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Nolans.
Indeed, indeed.
So, how you doing, my friend?
Just great. I got off the train at almost 3 o'clock. My train actually came in early today. And previous to that, I was in Chicago.
Cool. Yeah, I saw some pictures you posted of that. You decided to go search around for the filming locations of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Mm-hmm. The only one I didn't hit was Wrigley Field.
That's quite a big one, so I'm
and
surprised no one saw that
clear
one.
up north, too, so... So yeah, couldn't necessarily get clear up there.
Yeah. Did you get to the Galloping Ghost Video Arcade?
No, I didn't.
We'll have to make a road trip later on.
Absolutely.
So, what have you been geeking out about this week besides your amazing trip? Or is that pretty much the only thing you didn't have a chance to geek out about?
That's really the only thing I've had a chance to geek out about.
Nice.
I don't really have much geek news either.
Yeah, I'll make up for it. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
I found quite a lot of stuff this week. I don't know. I found myself accidentally stalking someone yesterday.
Do go on.
The internet is an amazing place to stalk someone if you don't really know what you're doing.
Take your word for it.
Well, we have a Marilyn Monroe impersonator that lives in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
And I keep catching glimpses of her like she's some sort of a ghost. And I was talking to our friend Eric. I'm like, yeah, she seems like I just want to talk to her sometime. And Eric's like, oh, you mean Katie? Oh, she's a sweetheart. I'm like, her name's Katie? Yeah, they wrote an article about her in the paper. I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. So I went home and I typed in Marilyn Monroe, BG News. There was nothing. Then I typed in Marilyn Monroe, Sentinel Tribune, and they had an article about her with her name and her age and what she does. I'm like, oh, that's neat. And then I looked her up on Facebook. I'm like, oh, wow, there she is. And oh, there's where she's living. Oh, neat. That's really cool. And oh, there's the car she drives. And there's, oh my God, I'm stalking her. I'm like, I'm one stage away from showing up you're showing up in her bushes wearing a clown suit.
You have some serious issues with stalking there.
Apparently, it's just like the internet has made stalking so much easier.
And clown suit. Where are you going to get the clown suit now?
That's my secret to tell.
Uh-huh. But yeah,
Please tell us about your trip so far.
So far, I have only been to Chicago, which is just a beautiful city. Very easy to get around.
Yeah, my niece lives there. My niece goes to school there. Vandercook College for musical education.
I got to go clear up to the top of Sears Tower.
I saw those pictures, and I saw you standing on the was it the platform with the see-through floor? Mm-hmm. And you are a braver man than I. I'd be like, nope. Now, you must understand, back in 2000, me and my ex-girlfriend went to New York City, and I've got a severe problem with heights.
Right.
And we went up all the way, we paid our $10, and we went to the top of the World Trade Center. And so we're on the observation deck, and she's like as far off the edge as you can possibly get, looking down. Like, the view is beautiful, and I'm plastered against the inner wall going, nope, I'm good. You just look for both of us. Oh, come on, Danby, don't be a wuss. I'm happily being a wuss.
You're a modern day Garfield, sir. So, Chicago was awesome. Of course, I had to go to Giordano's, and I had pizza for 3 days.
Ooh.
Such good deep dish.
Did you get a chance to get a real Chicago dog too?
No, I couldn't find a good place.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah.
Because
well.
I love me a Chicago dog. Oh my god.
Well, next time I'm in Chicago, I'll have to do that.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's take a look at some of the geek news we got this week.
Yeah, I don't have much, mainly because of the trip.
Right. I tried to make up for it. I got a lot of good stuff and a shit that should not be.
Oh, good. I was hoping you'd have a shit that should not be.
I just got it. A friend of mine just posted it. I'm like, yeah, thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. I needed a shit that should not be. And he's like, hey, you're welcome.
Oh, boy.
Let's see. Well, first off, remember Dave Grohl, the guitarist and singer for the Foo Fighters?
Yes! With his broken leg?
Right. Well, he's returned to playing.
Oh, good.
He's returned to touring. He has designed an iron throne out of musical instruments.
As in Iron Throne from Game of Thrones?
Yes. It's got drums and various guitars, and he sits on it and plays.
That's gorgeous.
And apparently he designed it while he was in the hospital, high on OxyContin.
The best way to design that kind of thing, of course.
And his notes say, lasers and shit shooting from the top. So once again, Dave Grohl proves that he is the most awesome musical hero we have of our generation.
Mm-hmm. I've got my first story is unfortunately a sad one.
Okay.
Sonia Manzoano,
Okay.
or Maria on Sesame Street, is going to retire.
Yeah. Well, she's been doing it for 44 years.
Yeah, and good on her. Big bucket of
Good
wind,
on her.
as
Big
Kevin
bucket
Smith
of
would
wind.
say.
She has done a lot of good work. A lot of children know who she is. I mean, I grew up on her. You grew up on her.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone from my generation and your generation all know who she is. And I mean, the show's been on for close to 46 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Carol Spinney has pulled back, and he's just doing the voices of Big Bird and Oscar now.
Yeah. And honestly, the most Spanish I know is because of this woman. So.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only other Spanish words that I know because of other sources are no espave.
No espave?
Don't shoot.
Jeez.
So that'll make me especially popular.
Yeah. No, the most Spanish I know I got from one teacher I had in college who said the only two things you need to know in Spanish are dos cervezas por favor and a donde es el baño. 2 beers, please, and where's the bathroom?
The other thing that I'd like to learn in every single language, because I know of a guy who actually did learn this, get the hell away from that Slurpee machine.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, that's a phrase that you want.
Yeah, I've actually wanted to write a book, say, dos cervezas por favor, and have basically those two phrases in every language I can possibly find.
That'd be awesome.
Like, Japanese, Tagalog, Klingon, Elvish.
Can you imagine get the hell away from that Slurpee machine in Klingon? That'd be the most angry command of get the hell away from that Slurpee machine ever.
Alright, let's see here.
Hang on just a second.
Sure.
Yeah, it's no problem. Let's see. Sorry to keep you on the Jeopardy music. Really?
Da 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 da
Sorry, that was my lovely host.
Okay.
She wanted to know what the name of the show was and that kind of stuff, so.
Okay, that's fun. Let's see, where was I? In comic book movie news, we've got a couple different things.
Go for it.
I'm going to butcher her name, and I do apologize to you, young lady.
Ava DuVernay.
You know the article then.
I'm fairly sure, yeah.
Ava DuVernay will not be directing the Black Panther movie.
Alas.
Yep, the first black female superhero movie director moment is going to have to put on hold, folks. The Selma director tells Essence she did meet with execs about bringing the story of Marvel's first superhero of color to life, but they had different ideas of how to move forward. So they will simply have to find somebody else.
That's too bad. But at the same time, I can understand why she'd do it.
Yeah.
The Marvel studios have a very specific way of making their movies.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember back in the 90s and early 2000s, the rumors were Wesley Snipes as Black Panther and John Singleton, who directed Boys in the Hood, as the director.
Yeah.
And since then, he's made a number of the Fast and the Furious movies, so he knows how to do action. So maybe they're going to go run back to him.
Maybe. That's pretty
kind of
cool.
Interesting. Yeah.
The other big Batman, big comic book one. I just spelled my cards. We have Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice photos now.
Yes, I saw them. I was actually listening to Hollywood Babylon earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Ralph Garman, who's been on record saying he is not interested in this movie whatsoever, has seen the photos. And he's like, I'm a little more interested now.
Yeah. Although I'm still not looking forward to Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
And yeah, there's so many people I'd rather see as that part. But you know what? I'm willing to give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I still got to see Man of Steel one of these days, though.
Yeah, same. Maybe we can do it as a commentary episode. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Chris Pine is deciding between two key superhero roles.
Oh.
Yep. So it sounds solid. That Star Trek lead and General Handsome Dude Chris Pine will be joining the upcoming DC Cinematic Universe. He's currently deciding whether he wants to go in as Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, or this is one I think I'd rather see him do. Steve Trevor, love interest and substantial player in Wonder Woman's backstory.
I'd like to see him as Steve Trevor. Honestly, I don't want to see Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern right now.
Yeah, I mean Tyrese Gibson has been cast as Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just give Jon Stewart his own movie. Jon Stewart as in the black Green Lantern, not the hilarious political commentary.
But yeah,
can you imagine
Jon Stewart just needs a movie of his own anyway. So
can you imagine Jon Stewart with a power ring? That would be hilarious.
The commentator, not the
commentator, not the superhero. But yeah, I always thought Jon Stewart in the DC animated universe, which to this day is still the best version of the superheroes that's ever been done. I thought he was really, really fun character, very intelligent, very noble, and he cried when Noel Yeller got shot.
Yeah.
So yes, that's so Chris Pine, go for Steve Trevor.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. We're going to see movies news. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Continue on the movie news.
Mm-hmm.
Jurassic World reigns for fourth week.
Good grief. That movie is unfucking stoppable.
Yep. It now stands at $558 million, and to make it the number 4 of all-time domestic list, and $1.385 billion worldwide, ranking at 5 there. The film is falling off at a more rapid pace than Avengers at the same point in its run, but it may have received enough of a head start early on to surpass that film's domestic total.
Good grief.
But, however, Inside Out still holds steady at number 2, and has already made $246 million domestically and $363 million worldwide. And it should stay on course for about $340 million domestically. So Pixar continues on with their winning streak.
Oh, that's good.
Terminator tanked.
Really? I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, it came out, made $28.7 million, and it was slightly below the $32 million or so that most people were predicting. However, it's getting very, very good. I'm sorry. Take it back. Its critical reaction is holding at just 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, and Magic Mike XXL, it tanked as well.
Good.
So basically, Jurassic World and Inside Out Jurassic World, Inside Out, and the Avenger movies are so far the biggest movies of the years. And
Yeah, honestly, I'm not. I've only seen the Age of Ultron this year, and it's kind of for a reason.
Yeah, and frankly, the movie I was the most excited about this year and actually really enjoyed was Mad Max Fury Road.
I still need to see it. I feel really bad not seeing it.
It'll be on Blu-ray here soon enough.
Yeah.
Or DVD.
Here's one that just piqued my interest because I'm a fan of obsolete technology.
Okay.
Someone just found an original Sony Nintendo PlayStation prototype.
Yep, I had that argument. I had that story.
Yeah. I want it to be real.
I have not seen anything saying it's not.
Yeah.
Apparently there were 200 prototypes that were made, and most of them were destroyed. But apparently this one still exists. My question is, what kind of games can actually play on it?
Yeah. Let's see. I think there was something in here about that.
Because right now what I'm seeing is it can play cartridges and CD-ROMs. It's a little yellowed, because obviously it's a 30, almost a 25-year-old system.
Right.
But it doesn't really say what kind of games it plays or whatever. It looks like it's for the Super Nintendo. You can play Super Nintendo cartridges. So kind of something different.
Oh, absolutely. Could you imagine if this thing got big and we'd have dual, both cartridges and CDs at the same time?
That would have been awesome. And again, I just remember the Sega Genesis 32 and the Sega CD, and what a mess that thing was.
But yeah, wishes and horses.
Yep. Let's see here. Speaking of video games, even though Arkham Knight is still having some problems, they announced a new DLC pack.
No, good. What's in there?
Batgirl: A Matter of Family. Play as Barbara Gordon / Batgirl for the first time in the Arkham series with the dual play option to team up with Robin.
Sweet.
It feels the exciting story add-on features an all-new location with multiple missions, side quests, and secrets, a new hacking feature to progress through the world and solve puzzles, and a dual play functionality with Robin for the dynamic takedown maneuvers. It's being developed by Warner Brother Games Montreal, and was created using the Batman Arkham Knight engine built by Rocksteady Studios, and it'll be coming out, looks like July 21st.
Sweet.
For the price, hey, actually for a very, very reasonable price, only $7.
That is very reasonable considering the game it's attached to.
Yeah, I mean less than a meal at McDonald's.
I love how that's our standard of gold here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also in the video game news.
Okay.
Minecraft Story Mode.
I saw something about that.
Yeah, apparently it's looking pretty cool. Looks like you can have all sorts of custom characters and all of that. You'll control this is a quote here from the Telltale blog. You'll control protagonist Jesse throughout the season as portrayed by actor Patton Oswalt. Jesse and his group of friends revere the legendary Order of the Stone. 4 adventurers who slayed an ender dragon. The Order are the very best at what they do. Warrior, redstone engineer, griefer, and architect.
Nice. I said nice.
While at EnderCon, Jesse and his friends discover that something is wrong, something dreadful. Terror is unleashed and they must set out on a journey to find the Order of the Stone if they are to save the world from oblivion. It'll also feature Brian Posen, Ashley Johnson, Scott Porter, Martha Plimpton, Dave Fennoy, Corey Feldman, and Billy West. Oh, and Paul Rubens.
Not like Corey Feldman's doing anything else lately.
Same with Paul Rubens.
That's true.
Hey, kids!
Heard any good jokes lately?
Oh, Jesus.
I remember watching that. That was funny. We were talking about all that in high school. We were doing nothing but talking about that the day after. When he showed up on the MTV Music Awards. Like, okay, any good jokes lately? And that was all he said. That's all he had to say.
It's such a weird character, too.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Pee-wee, but I can sort of understand. Now that I've gotten older, I can sort of understand the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm finally ready to actually watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure one of these days.
Plus, he's just so damn imitatable.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I was in Florida, I think 20 miles of when he actually got busted for jacking off in the porno theater.
No kidding.
No, I was down there visiting family, and it happened in like Venice or Pensacola or something.
Mm.
And I was down there visiting my family, and it was like front page news. I'm like, oh dear. All right, let's see here. Do you know who martial artist Donnie Yen is?
No, but I know what he's about to do.
He is going to be in the Star Wars Episode 8 as a Jedi.
Yep.
And Donnie Yen is one of the best of the Hong Kong action heroes. I mean, he's up there, frankly, with Chow Yun-fat and Jackie Chan.
That's awesome.
He was in the movie Ip Man, and he was also in Blade 2 and Shanghai Nights. So he's finally getting a shot in a big budget Hollywood film.
Sweet.
So big bucket to win him.
Uh-huh.
This basically says that he may be into either Rogue One or Episode 8. It's a little confusing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But according to Apple Daily, Donnie Yen is officially signed to appear in Star Wars Episode 8 as a Jedi alongside Harrison Ford's Han Solo.
There you go.
So, yay for Donnie Yen. Now we just need to get Jet Li.
I have one story left.
Okay, I've got a ton. Don't worry about it.
Well, then you go ahead. Do some.
Alright, let's see here. What do I want to do? So many different choices here. Well, there's a new cartoon coming out that looks kind of interesting.
Oh, go for it.
I was talking to our mutual friend Eric, and I mentioned it. He's like, yes, because he knows about it. It's called Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. It's a joint project between France, Japan, and South Korea. Mm-hmm. It's a 3D superhero cartoon, and it's a co-production. Disney Channel is actually involved in it, so is Toei Animation, and it follows the adventures of a charismatic young marionette who's a superhero in France, in Paris, who magically transforms into the vivacious superhero Ladybug to save the day using superpowers, mysterious charms, and the unique power of creation with the help of her magical pet Tiki. Little does this 13-year-old know, her crush Adrian is also her superhero sidekick Cat Noir. And they're basically launching a licensing blitz later this year.
Sweet.
But I saw the trailer, and it's CGI, but there's also an anime trailer as well. And it looks cute. It looks really well done, and I'm always good for taking familiar tropes and messing around with them.
Also, that was a spot-on Eric impression.
Yes. Okay. Grant Morrison named editor-in-chief of Heavy Metal magazine.
Sweet.
Yep. Entertainment Weekly is reporting that Grant Morrison has been named editor-in-chief of the long-running comic book magazine Heavy Metal. Begins with the February 2016 issue, with the acclaimed writer aiming to revamp some of the magazine's properties and curate the stories appearing in the bi-monthly magazine. We're trying to bring back some of that 70s punk energy of Heavy Metal, but update it and make it new again. One of the things I like to do in my job is to revamp properties and really get into the aesthetic of something, dig into the roots of what makes it work, then tinker with the engine and play around with it. So basically, they're going to try to pick it up a little bit.
And I have faith in Grant Morrison.
Yes.
You can just listen to any of the episodes he's on Fat Man on Batman.
Oh yeah, very intelligent man.
Yeah. You just want to kind of curl up and fall asleep listening to the guy, because he's just that interesting.
And he got to kill My Chemical Romance, so that's something.
Mm-hmm.
He was in one of the videos. For, was it Dangerous Days of the Killjoys, or what it was?
I'll take your word for it. I'm not a big My Chemical Romance person.
Okay. I quite enjoyed the band, but no, they had a video where Grant Morrison was playing the bad guy, and he ended up killing them all.
Sweet.
All right, let's see here. This is a funny one.
Okay.
See, since you used to work at Walmart, and I still work at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Man poses as armored truck driver, steals $75,000 from Bristow Walmart. in Bristow, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Federal authorities are investigating a 4th of July heist after police say a man with a gun and a bulletproof vest claimed to be the armored truck driver and conned Bristow Walmart employers of nearly 6 figures. The man convinced store employees he was there for the cash pickup for Loomis Armored on Saturday afternoon. They didn't realize the error until the real Loomis truck came to pick the scheduled pickup about 30 minutes later. You know what? If he managed to con Walmart that bad, he deserves the money.
Good on him.
Good on him.
Uh,
Okay. And let's see here. Do I want to talk about that? Well, I think we mentioned this on one of the earlier shows, but it's now finally making the rounds that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is going to be making a Fraggle Rock movie.
yes, we reported that back when I was still in the recording closet.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Though I have to say, he says the first screen personas I ever loved were Henson creations. Jim Henson's characters make you laugh and sing, but they're also layered, surprising, and wise. From Oscar the Grouch to Yoda to the Fraggles. I'm like, wait. Frank Oz created Yoda, you bastard! Get it right!
I know, right?
Let's see here. Oh, Avatar The Last Airbender creator announces his next project, Threadwords.
Cool.
It's going to be a graphic novel series as opposed to animated.
Awesome.
It's an original graphic novel. Imagine 5 planets that share a single orbit. Imagine a inquisitive young scientist curious about the world, setting out on adventures across the universe. He says, what's this guy's name? Brian Konazako?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot pronounce people's names to save my life.
I noticed.
It's a melding of fantasy and science fiction. It has high stakes, relatable characters, and a wide range of tones, similar to the work I created with Michael, the other creator of Avatar. And though the focus on the science, there will be plenty of action and adventure. So it looks like it's got possibilities.
Indeed.
You got any more? One more news?
Yes.
Okay,
And
go
this
ahead.
one is kind of a... okay. YouTube star PewDiePie made $7.5 million in 2014 in revenue. The internet craze of, hey, watch people play video games on the internet, is a thing.
Apparently. I tried watching PewDiePie. His voice annoys the hell out of me.
What, you can't do the Swedish unless they're going bork, bork, bork?
No, he just has a very annoying tone. I tried watching Markiplier, and he's okay, but still, it's just like, eh?
Yeah, in general, that whole genre of videos is kind of lost on me. I'm not a big gamer to begin with.
I mean, good on him for, making money, but...
Yep, it looks like
still
he's
just
going to be
like-
donating some of it to charity, too.
Well, that's very good on him, then.
Mm-hmm. Just using his bro army,
Mm-hmm.
he raised more than $1 million for charities including World Wildlife Fund, Save the Children, St. Jude Hospital, and Charity Water.
Right.
So yeah, he seems like a pretty cool dude,
Cool.
and that's all I've got.
Yeah, I don't need stuff like that. Let's see. Well, you kind of missed the whole fun in Reddit. Do you go to Reddit at all?
No, I'm not a Redditor.
Okay, I do go to Reddit. Reddit in chaos after allegedly firing AMA coordinator Victoria Taylor. One of the Reddits is called Ask Me Anything, where various people go and discuss and talk about what they do. They've had like Jesse Jackson on there and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you basically name the actor or the actress, author, and such, and they've been on there. And Victoria was the person that was the basically the touchstone that everyone went through. And she got abruptly fired. And it's never really found out why. The company refuses to answer why. And a number of the Reddit moderators locked their Reddits because of it. I mean, it basically shut down Reddit for almost 2 days. And now it's back up, and people are still complaining. So this could be like very similar to what happened with Dig. Because Dig used to be what Reddit is now. And then we're just sawing, this is just internet evolution in action.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, now, this is a sad story, but at the same time, I'm not really that sad about it, because the guy was an idiot.
Oh, dear Lord. So we're kind of gonna have to enjoy this on the same level as the Darwin Awards, or?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Man shoots firework off from top of his head, dies instantly.
Oh, God.
A 22-year-old man was drinking and celebrating the 4th of July, tried to launch a firework off the top of his head, dying instantly. Devin Staples and his friends, etc., etc., etc. Now, the sad thing is, this is a guy who used to be one of the face characters at Disney. He played Gaston.
Oh, dude.
Everyone says it's a tragic accident. I call it a stupid decision.
Yeah.
Alcohol and fireworks are never a good combination.
I try to stay very far away if I'm with one or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for his family. I feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm. But
he basically did the Darwin Awards equivalent of hold my beer and watch this.
Yeah. He now is the poster child for hold my beer.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, man. I hope you're enjoying your afterlife, but that was really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. And we're gonna have to end on this one. Ready?
Oh shit.
This is your shit that should not be. That son of a bitch Cujo is back for a ridiculous reboot. Sun Classic Pictures adds a military twist to Stephen King's macabre story. In Stephen King's most terrifying novel, Pet Sematary, Judd Crandall warns his new neighbor that dead is better. Of course, that cautionary line is absolutely lost on Hollywood, a monster in itself that continues to jump up and down on gravestones, throwing money around like an asshole version of Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah. Yes, those still rattled by Louis Teague's 1983 silver screen adaptation, which starred E.T. Mother Dee Wallace-Stone and featured one of the most ridiculous freeze-frame endings of that freeze-frame ending-loving decade. We'll be glad to know that everyone's favorite rabies-riddled St. Bernard is back to lick its devilish chops. This time, the film is going to be called CUJO, which stands for Canine Unit Joint Operations.
That just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really dumb.
Yeah.
It sounds like a children's novel. Not remotely like a Stephen King anything.
No. It just sounds dumb. It sounds like someone heard about a Stephen King novel and says, what the Stephen King novel needs is more military. Yeah!
It needs more military, and it needs to appeal to the kids.
Yeah, it needs more
we need to get that 5 to 7 demographic in our circle here.
It's like Stephen King writes Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
Oh god. And then Spike was doused in pig's blood.
Oh, poor Spike. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's all the news I have.
All right, and that wraps it up for the geek news.
Yep. And we were going to talk today about since you are in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
The
and
land of all,
I just had some delicious muffalata not too long ago.
Remind me what muffalata is.
It's kind of it's a sandwich with bacon and ham and all sorts of other pig, plus a delicious olive spread on the top.
Nice. That does sound quite tasty. Yes, I'm a big fan of like gumbo and jambalaya and such, and po' boys. Oh my god, I love po' boys.
I can't wait to get a po' boy.
How long are you gonna be in New Orleans?
I'll be here until the 10th.
Okay, so you have time to go wander around Bourbon Street and some of the back areas, and hopefully you can go visit some of the voodoo shops.
Yes, very hopefully.
Which is what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, I was hoping to actually go there tonight, but then I was like, I should get ready for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finding a place in this house, because it's a large house, finding a place in this house with a reliable connection to the Wi-Fi was an undertaking at first.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about voodoo and popular culture. And I unfortunately didn't have a lot of time to do a lot of research on this one, but I
had even less time.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit about some of the weird things that have happened over the years. Now, voodoo, from what I understand, and I'm probably going to get screamed at about this, grew out of a combination of ancient African religions mixed in with some Christianity.
Yeah, just a tad, a sprinkling.
Yeah, and a worship of old gods. Give me a second here. I'm looking up. I'm typing furiously on Google here. Voodoo gods.
Yeah, it's more based on it's more based around religion than it is the dark magic that we're forced into with popular culture.
Right. Well, one of the things I actually read earlier was kind of interesting. A lot of pulp writers back in the 30s and 20s and 30s drew inspiration from voodoo, or hoodoo, as they called it.
Yes.
And I was reading some Robert E. Howard, the Solomon Kane stories. Solomon Kane was a Puritan adventurer who fought the darkness, and actually used voodoo to some extent because one of his buddies, Mangala, was a hoodoo man, as they called him. He was more ancient than ancient knows, and could do all this dark magic and shit. And Solomon Kane's like, "This is against God and all of his powers." And
it's just like, hey, you got some God over there. Look, just pick away the pepperoni and just eat the pizza.
Right. The funny thing is that Robert E. Howard and H.P. Lovecraft and those ilk are well known for being very racist, which is unfortunate. But the story I read this morning called The Hills of the Dead, where Solomon Kane ended up fighting against a group of zombie vampires, basically. And the funny thing is, Solomon Kane didn't do much. It was his buddy, the black, the African hoodoo man, who did most of the heavy lifting. And I was like, that was kind of an interesting subversion of the trope. I mean, it's not, they're thinking this big white man's like a god or something, and his buddy's like, yeah, whatever. Stand back, let me do my work.
And I'm from Earth, and I am from Galut Praktal.
Yeah. There's been a lot of, over the years, a lot of voodoo rituals and such that have made their way into popular culture. I mean, there's obviously the 1930s movie White Zombie.
And that's kind of the big turning point for a lot of people is, oh, did you see White Zombie? Yeah. It's kind of no. Also, it has Bela Lugosi and Murder Legendary.
Yeah. More of what I'm familiar with are like the rather regrettable James Bond movie, Live and Let Die.
Which I've not seen, unfortunately. I've still only seen Dr. No.
Live and Let Die. I believe that was the first of the Roger Moore's films. Yep, it was first to star Roger Moore. And it's basically involves him fighting a Harlem drug lord named Mr. Big, who's planning to distribute tons of heroin free to put rival drug barons out of business. And it uses a lot of the blaxploitation tropes of the time, being centered in Harlem and New Orleans. And one of the characters is based on Baron Samedi. Baron Samedi is a god in the Haitian voodoo, and he's the head of the Godin family of Loa. Basically, he's usually depicted with a black top hat, black tuxedo, dark glasses, and cotton plugs in the nose, as to resemble a corpse dressed and prepared for burial in the Haitian style. He's noted for disruption, obscenity, debauchery, and having a particular fondness for tobacco and rum. And he is the Loa. Loa is spirit of Haitian voodoo. Sorry, I should probably should bring that up real quick. And he's noted for his. He's the Loa of resurrection in the latter capacity is often called upon for healing by those near or approaching death, as is only Baron Samadi who can accept an individual into the realm of the dead.
Mhm.
So if you're like your family member is dying or something, you pray to Baron Samadi and you make offerings of tobacco or rum, and if he's feeling generous, he'll let them live.
Mm-hmm.
The outfit for what's his name, the bad guy from Princess and the Frog.
Oh, Dr. Facelia.
Dr. Facelia is very similar to what Baron Samadi is. Dr. Facelia is dressed like Baron Samadi.
Ah.
He's also appeared in William Gibson's novel Count Zero, which is one of the canonical cyberpunk novels.
Cool.
Basically, Loas are essentially artificial intelligences in that book. Very interesting stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also let's see here. Let's see. It's just such a hard thing to talk about because I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, we did kind of choose a tough subject this week.
It was like, oh, you're going to be in New Orleans. Let's talk about voodoo. Oh, that's not racist. Not at all. No.
Yeah, especially
That's not
considering we're
cliche.
two white guys.
Oh, we're two white guys that know nothing about this.
Yeah.
But they also have appeared... let's see here. There was American Horror Story Coven,
Mm-hmm.
which has a lot about... deals very heavily in Haitian voodoo.
Right.
Came out. It's third season of the FX horror anthology TV series,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes place in the coven of witches in New Orleans, and much more heavy in voodoo. And one of the main characters in that is a guy named Papa Legba, who is a Loa who serves as the intermediary between the Loa and humanity. He stands at a spiritual crossroads and gives or denies permission to speak with the spirits, and is believed to speak all human languages. He facilitates communication, speech, and understanding. Maybe I should talk to him because I can't talk. Also, have you ever seen the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen the movie, but I read the book, and there is a voodoo woman running around through that who's trying to communicate with one of her dead husbands so he'll give her winning lottery tickets. Apparently, Savannah, Georgia, is a weird place.
Doesn't surprise me much.
Mm-hmm. But no, voodoo it's crept into our popular culture over the years. I mean, there's Wes Craven's Serpent in the Rainbow, which dealt with the creation of zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Pullman plays a researcher who discovers a powder who can turn people into zombies, and actually gets subjected to it himself until he finally heals up. But it's a brutal movie.
Mm.
And it has been said by some Haitian voodoo practitioners, this is one of the more realistic depictions in popular culture of their religion. But at the same time, it's sort of like saying the best Mexican wine. I mean, it's still not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the Child's Play movies actually deal with voodoo as well. The classic trope of the voodoo doll.
Mm-hmm.
Basically involves the killer transferring his soul into a I can't remember the name of the doll in Child's Play. I know it's Chucky, but it's like I know it was based on the My Buddy dolls from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Or good guy dolls, that's what they were.
Yes.
Basically, he uses the dark powers of voodoo to transfer his soul into this doll, and proceeds to kick ass for God knows how many movies now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking doll. Kick it.
Yes, exactly. It's tiny. What is wrong with you?
I think once we described it once on the show. All you need is a shovel and a pair of good steel-toed boots, and that thing is toast.
Not even a fire can stop it. Oh, try me.
Oh, we will find a way. Yes, we will find a way.
I mean, seriously, all you have to do is take a knife, slice off arms, slice off legs. It won't be able to move.
Yes.
What's it gonna do? Bite me to death?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Then there's the classic character, Brother Voodoo, who I can't even describe without just like giggling. I'm sorry. He was first introduced in Strange Tales 169 in Marvel Comics, created by Len Wein and the great artist Gene Colan. His name is Jericho Drum, returning to his native Haiti after 12 years of education and practice as an accredited psychologist in the United States. Jericho Drum discovers his twin brother Daniel Drum, the local Hungong, is dying. Hungong is a term for a male priest in Haitian voodoo. Is dying, a victim of voodoo sorcerer who claims to be possessed by the spirit of the serpent god Damballa.
Yes.
Surprisingly, they did a lot of... Damballa actually was basically just a character created back in... created by the Marvel Comics.
Actually, Damballa does have precedence.
He does.
Yes. Damballa, or Danbala, is the serpent god and the oldest in the voodoo pantheon.
Okay.
Hugely important.
Neat. Thank you. But taking the name Brother Voodoo, Jericho challenges the priest, and with the help of his brother's spirit, Jericho removes Damballa's artifact of power, causing Damballa's snakes to turn him and eventually destroying Damballa's cult. And he basically kicked around he created during that time period of blaxploitation. Very heavy blaxploitation. And he kind of kicked around the Marvel Universe the next number of years, teaming up with Black Panther or Moon Knight, Spider-Man, etc., etc.
Right.
Jack Russell's werewolf? What? Oh, okay. No, apparently the character Werewolf by Night. His nickname is Jack Russell.
Oh, dear Lord! Seriously,
I'm just laughing about the idea. His name is Jacob Russell, nicknamed Jack, and I'm just like, I just had this vision of a Jack Russell werewolf in my head now.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
At some point, he was actually Marvel tried to revamp the character, and he ended up becoming the Sorcerer Supreme, inheriting it from Doctor Strange. He eventually battles the entity Agamotto itself to prevent Agamotto from retrieving the eye, and appears to sacrifice himself in an explosion he engineers to destroy both Agamotto and the Eye of Agamotto. And apparently Doctor Doom makes a Faustian deal to resurrect Brother Voodoo, reasoning that he and Daniel are the only who can stop the inverted Scarlet Witch from destroying Latveria. Marvel does not know how to handle voodoo. What can I say?
Yeah, no.
But still.
Kind of stemming from that whole Marvel thing, we also have Disney.
Yeah, I was actually about to mention Princess and the Frog.
I was going to mention not Princess and the Frog, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And Tia Dalma.
Yeah. Tia Dalma, yes. How do you pronounce that?
Tia Dalma.
Tia Dalma, yeah. Who actually does appear in, from what I understand... I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a quick shot here. And supposedly she was a voodoo goddess. Obaya, sorceress, hoodoo practitioner. Obaya. Let's see, I'm trying to spell this properly. I'm trying to pronounce this properly. Obaya is a term used in West Indies to refer to folk magic, sorcery, and religious practices developed among West African slaves, specifically of the Igbo religion. It's very similar to the Afro-American religions, including Palo, Voodoo, Santeria, and Hoodoo. But yes, she basically was a goddess who was captured. And she speaks Jamaican patois with a typical West Indian accent, pronouncing her thus as the. And I don't really see. I thought I read something where she was supposed to be an actual goddess.
Yeah, in the movie, she is actually Calypso.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I also found this interesting. The etymology of her name. Tia is Portuguese and Spanish for aunt.
Okay.
And Dalma could be a reference to either the Caribbean Spanish del mar, which means of the sea, or it could be Spanish de alma, or the Portuguese de alma, which means of the soul. So it's either aunt of the sea or aunt of the soul.
Nice. I remember staying on the Disney thing. We're going to talk a little about Princess and the Frog.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. What's his name?
Dr. Fazelia.
Dr. Gazelia. I do remember. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's an African American artist, and he was asked to design the characters for Princess and the Frog. And there were some people saying that when he created the Doctor, he made him very, very stereotypical. It's like, no, I went back to the original designs of the hoodoo goddesses and gods and practitioners and tried to make it as realistic as possible. Mm-hmm. So there's just no pleasing some people.
Yeah. Well, again, we're treading on eggshells as it is on this episode.
Oh yeah, we are definitely.
So
it's invigorating.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out some other stuff we can talk about here. Papa Legba. It's Tales of Monkey Island. Oh, Tales of Monkey Island.
Monkey Island. I love Monkey Island.
Yeah, basically Papa Legba, who I talked about earlier, the character Caleb was based on him.
Mm.
I'm not exactly sure who Caleb is. I never played the damn games. I don't know much about them.
Yeah, I didn't get to play Tales of Monkey Island. I played the other 4 though.
I still think it's funny that Tales of Monkey Island was inspired by the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and then Monkey Island inspired the Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Yeah. You mean Secret of Monkey Island, not Tales of Monkey Island.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Secret. No, actually it says Tales of Monkey Island.
Secret of Monkey Island is the one that was inspired by the ride.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Tales of Monkey Island is a 2009 graphic adventure video game. It's the fifth game in the Monkey Island series. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. The one I still have yet to play.
Yes.
God, that's weird stuff.
Apparently, some of the voodoo gods will be appearing they do appear in American Gods, which is a novel by Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
And they will be appearing in the TV show that's going to be coming out here sometime later on. Mm-hmm. 2015. 2016 it looks like.
Actually, voodoo plays prominently in Monkey Island 2 LeChuck's Revenge, far more than in the other games.
Okay.
The reason for this is because it has heavy use of voodoo dolls. The recipe for which is you need something of the head, something of the dead, something of the body, and something of the thread. And you have to go to great lengths to figure out what they mean by all of this. Although in the end, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Great ingredients include underwear, a flake from somebody's toupee, crusty beard bits.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it goes on and on.
I don't want to watch a video. I'm trying to find more about modern popular culture, and it's just like it tried to take me to a video. I'm like, I don't want to watch a video right now.
I'm in the middle of a show. I can't do a video.
No.
There's a movie out there called Skeleton Key, which I have no idea what that's all about.
I've heard of it. I think it's got Kate Hudson.
Mm-hmm. That's all I know.
It's apparently got something to do with, hey, look, I found the list. Let's look at the list. Let's read the list, shall we?
Please. Oh, God, we've been floundering.
10 things you didn't know about voodoo.
Okay.
Thanks to popular portrayal by Hollywood, voodoo is perhaps one of the world's most misunderstood religions. Most depictions of voodoo show a dark, mysterious religion that revolves around animal sacrifices, casting harmful spells, and using dolls to hurt others.
Yes.
That's about as far from the truth as you can get, and the real story behind voodoo are proof that you can't believe everything you see on television. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Number 10. 3 different types. Yes. There are 3 main types of voodoo, each drawing its own sphere, their sphere of influence from a different place. West African voodoo is still practiced by around 30 million people, particularly in nations like Ghana and Benin. Mm-hmm. Rituals and beliefs are extensive and largely untouched by outside influences that have shaped other types of voodoo. Louisiana voodoo is a unique brand of voodoo practiced, as the name suggests, mainly in Louisiana and the southeastern states, though brought over from West...
Really? Tell me more.
Though brought over from West African voodoo, this form has been heavily influenced by the practices of Spanish and French settlers, as well as the Creole population. I just want to go on record and think it's hilarious that Creole is actually French.
Mm-hmm.
That basically the French were in Canada and got kicked out and ran it to Louisiana. That has always cracked me up. I never found that. And Haitian voodoo practiced in Haiti has been largely shaped by its French influence as well as Christianity. There are strong parallels to Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
At first glance, it seems that a religion that revolves around spiritual possession, potions, and the worship of ancestors would have little to do with Christianity. However, there are strong parallels. In the case of Louisiana and Haitian voodoo, many Christian traditions, beliefs, and figures have been incorporated into this flexible religion. The spirits are central to the practice of voodoo, and many of the central figures have Christian counterparts. Ada Widu is a virgin figure of Mary, while Legba, the guardian gatekeeper, is a mirror image of St. Peter. Interesting.
Yes.
In voodoo, more important spirits that believers connect with are called the Loa. In some locations, these Loa and their families can be called by the names of Catholic saints they represent. In West African voodoo, there is a very Christian belief there is one supreme God ruling all. Neat. They've been accepted by the Catholic Church.
Which is very interesting and completely unexpected.
Yeah, in fact, John Paul II has spoken at length about the esteem with which he holds practitioners of voodoo, acknowledging the fundamental goodness inherent in the practices, teachings, and beliefs. Mm-hmm. You know, actually, speaking of popular culture, there was an episode of Bones I was watching a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Bones.
It's a stupid show. My mom likes it.
Yeah, it got even stupider.
Yeah, but no, they had an episode where she went to New Orleans to help hurricane victims. Mm-hmm. And ended up running across a guy who was saying prayers over the corpses, and she's freaking out. And he's like, "No, I'm a voodoo practitioner. I'm helping guide their spirits to the next side." Mm-hmm. And he was actually a really cool character. They wrote him very, very well. And he was an EMS technician, so that's why he was there. And then there was like a murder that happened, and it had dark overtones, and he became their connection within the voodoo world. And basically, they tracked down the guy who was doing it. It was basically using all the tropes of Hollywood's version of voodoo to cover his tracks for a murder.
Oh, that's just not cool, man.
That was not cool, but it also showed that this is not what my religion is, and this is what it's supposed to be. This is how I'm going to, this is how we should be portrayed. And I thought it was kind of interesting. Using someone else's religion. Let's see, voodoo dolls. Ha ha. Voodoo dolls are more complicated than they're usually portrayed. A voodoo doll doesn't actually symbolize a person in the respect that what happens to it happens to the person, which, as you've probably seen in many, many cartoons and TV shows over the years.
And in Monkey Island 3.
Doll. What?
And in Monkey Island 3.
Yeah, you have a voodoo doll and you bend their arms like, ow, ow, ow.
Pull out a pen. Oh, that feels much better.
Yeah. Instead, a doll is only associated with the person in question, usually by attaching a picture of the person or something that is in intimate contact, such as a lock of hair, other things, and it's attached to the personification, usually the purpose of the voodoo straight pin, usually seen in a voodoo doll, which is commonly believed to be an instrument of pain, but it's not.
Right.
Other things are usually added to the doll, and these vary based on the intended purposes.
Garlic, flower petals, perfumes, or even money can be added.
You found the article.
I did find the article. I've actually had the article open for a while.
Oh, okay. The voodoo doll can be used for a wide variety of purposes, and most are benevolent. Okay, It's not a dark and evil thing, but like many religious and secular symbols, it can be made dark by the person who wields it. So,
right.
Yeah.
See also crucifixes.
I'm trying to think. Mary Laveau. I think this is the one that's supposed to be still alive. She was a voodoo queen from like the late 1800s. Mm-hmm. And the rumor is that she's still wandering the cemeteries. She supposedly died, but then came back to life.
Yes, she has a burial somewhere around here.
Yeah. She's one of the most... Mary Laveau is one of the names most commonly associated with voodoo, and consequently she becomes something of a surreal, larger-than-life figure. Even what's known for sure seems debatable. She's said to have been born the illegitimate daughter of a Creole plantation owner and his half-black, half-Native American mistress. One of the... I forget that. I don't really care about the marriages. One of these children, Mary Laveau II, followed in her mother's footsteps as a voodoo priestess and is thought to be the source of rumors that the elder Laveau lived decades longer than any mortal person should. Mm-hmm. She worked as a hairdresser, This allowed her intimate access to some of the most powerful people in New Orleans, who she would counsel at the same time using to gather secrets and inside information others in the city, helping to cement her position of relative power. Just how much power Laveau has long since been debated, but what can't be debated is her public performances and rituals elevated voodoo into the public eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also beyond debate is her selfless concern for those she shared the city with. Her work giving assistance to the homeless, the hungry, and the sick is well documented. Even today, visitors to New Orleans leave offerings in the place where she's supposedly buried and ask for her assistance.
Funny thing about that, I was actually, I'm actually in New Orleans as we speak. Crazy, I know. And the idea of tagging the tomb, not cool. Do not do that. That is vandalism.
Now, when you say tagging, as in painting on it, or actually leaving an item?
Technically both. Even more heinous, though, is the time when somebody actually tried to reach in and grab something.
Ooh.
Yeah. Do not do that.
That's bad.
That's very bad. Don't do that.
Interesting. Okay. Practitioners are services of the spirits. Someone who practices voodoo is often accused, especially in Hollywood, of being a powerful person who orders the spirits to do the bidding.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case. It's in fact the opposite.
Yes.
Voodoo practitioners see themselves as servants of spirits. They don't actually tell the spirits to do anything. They provide offerings and honor and then ask.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I mentioned earlier, what's his name? Crap.
Dr. Basilia?
No, the big dude. The big guy.
Which big dude?
Baron Samedi.
Oh, right.
Right, you make offerings. He likes tobacco and rum.
Mm-hmm.
Especially rum that's been laced with the hot peppers. So if
Actually,
you buy him
that sounds delicious.
So if you buy him, if you offer him a package of good quality tobacco and rum, or alternately, I've also heard from a friend of mine who is interested in voodoo that he likes really stinky cigars, like the really low budget crap, and rot gut rum with peppers. He's perfectly happy. So take it as you will. So you can either offer him really good Captain Morgan or Ron Cerveza or something. The shit you buy in the corner store when you just don't give a shit anymore. Apparently, there's a lot of booze out. There's a lot of booze in New Orleans. Apparently, you're not old enough to drink it, right?
No.
Oh, too bad. There's no time for Bourbon Street's just not going to be the same for you.
Yeah, I had the feeling.
Voodoo priests and priestesses undergo a long period of training before performing any ritual that opens themselves to spiritual possession. During these rituals, one of the two spirits that inhabit the body, the Te Bon Ong, leaves the body so the spirit of the Loa can possess it. The Te Bon Ong is the portion of the spirit that controls the individual and must be protected when the individual is hosting a Loa, as opposed to, apparently, if you don't do it right, the spirit can kill you.
Great.
They are also involved in number 4 is healing. Again, harkening back to the voodoo doll and the stereotypes around it, many think of voodoo as a dark religion led by people wielding power to damage the spirit and body. Go ahead.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah. It's actually centers around healing and herbalism.
Yeah. Quite the opposite seems to be the thing of the day. I mean, seriously, just... Oh, yeah. No, quite the opposite.
Yes.
On the contrary, what?
One of the most important reasons for summoning a spirit in the voodoo ritual is to ask for aid in healing the sick and the injured. God, do you remember like Scooby-Doo used to have like a voodoo episode?
Oh God. When didn't Scooby-Doo have a voodoo episode?
I just remember there's like an episode where they're in New Orleans and a voodoo doll's involved and it's made to look like Shaggy, so he's like jerking all over the place. He's like, oh no!
I remember there's. Go ahead.
They had like the good voodoo doctor who's trying to help them out. And it's like, no, my religion is good. It is strong. It is made to help people, not the dark religion is what you're trying to be attacked by. It was like a misguided 80s political correctness. It's like, God bless you, man. You were trying, but
yeah. And in that same vein, there's also an episode of Secret Squirrel where that happens.
I seem to be going for walkies. I remember that episode.
It was so weird.
Oh, the new Secret Scroll was hilarious. Oh my god. I remember that I saw that when they did it was like a part of the Two Stupid Dogs show.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had an episode where a quark was trying to turn the U.S. into the world's largest parking lot with an amphitheater in the Detroit area so he could perform. And he ended up... this is back... Now, you must understand, this is right when I got back from my college internship with Disney at Walt Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And they show Orlando, Florida. And suddenly the quark spins around the support beams on the spaceship Earth at Epcot, that big globe.
Mm-hmm.
And it rolls over and destroys Cinderella's castle. I laughed so hard. I laughed for a good 5 minutes. I don't remember the rest of the episode. I was laughing so hard.
Just one of those things where you dream, one day this will happen. It will roll out of control, and suddenly...
Yeah. Okay, anyway, back to voodoo. Sorry.
Right.
Voodoo is a spiritual idea as well as a physical one, and practitioners can focus on healing a broken heart or changing a person's luck for the better, as well as healing the body.
Mm-hmm.
Voodoo priests and priestesses do acknowledge that they're not all powerful when it comes to diagnosis and healing, however, and will recommend modern medicine and treatment if they deem the situation beyond their control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3, there is no black or white.
It's black or white. Something you said, yeah.
Sorry.
This is not a racial thing either. It's actually
No.
there's no such thing as white magic or black magic.
Right,
in
it's
this
just varying degrees. Most cultures recognize white magic as the good, healing sort of magic, while black magic is the darker sort.
Mm-hmm.
In voodoo, there is no distinction between white and black. Instead, when an evil spirit is conjured or bribed by an evil person to do something bad, it's called red magic.
Mm-hmm.
The color of the spirit is red, and when the practitioner allows an evil Loa to take possession of them, their eyes turn red, showing the evil is present. Sometimes a benevolent spirit can turn evil by the wishes that are imposed on it. This is in complete contradiction to the actual teachings of voodoo, which center around the good and the charitable. Part of the role of a female practitioner, a queen, and a male practitioner, a doctor, is to stop red magic before it happens.
Yes.
I didn't actually know that. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Red
That
magic, huh?
That actually sounds like something I'd see. I would actually pay money to see that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, something different.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The Voodoo Pantheon, which we were actually discussing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And another striking similarity to Christianity, the Voodoo Pantheon has 3 main tiers. At top is a single god, which is a present yet distant figure.
Mm-hmm.
The Loa make up another tier, spirits that interact with mortals on a regular basis. The individual's deceased relatives play an important part in their spiritual life, as well as honoring one's ancestors is an important part of voodoo. The third tier is the mortals itself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the fundamental concepts of voodoo is the relationship between these 3 tiers. Papa Legba is one of the most important of the Loa, as he is the gatekeeper between the mortal realm and the divine. All mortal contact with the Loa goes through Legba, and it is said that he opens the gate between the worlds. A reflection of St. Peter, he is also a guardian of the home, the crossroads, and travel.
Mm-hmm.
And
this one I actually mentioned earlier.
Yeah. And then number 1 is snakes.
Mm-hmm. Basically, Damballa is the serpent god, oldest of the voodoo pantheon. So it's not just some hokey thing that snakes are often used in voodoo.
Yeah.
It's got precedence.
Yeah, he's said to have been the one to create the world.
Mm-hmm.
Damballa created the water from his shed skin and the stars in the sky from his coils. He is married to Aida Wido, the rainbow, an eternal love that represents the balance between the male and female. Neat. That's kind of cool. Priests and priestesses can be possessed by the spirit of Damballa, but they do not speak. Instead, they hiss.
There you go.
And there is some animal sacrifice, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. This is animal sacrifices played an important part in voodoo rituals, but the reason is not because of a morbid fascination with death or blood. Mm-hmm. The Loa use energy in their communication with mortals, along with the general running of their day-to-day affairs. By sacrificing animals and offering them to the Loa, practitioners believe they are combining the life force of the animal with the life force of the Loa, rejuvenating the spirit. Mm-hmm. The meat and blood of the animal is often cooked and consumed as part of the ceremony. I'm like, ooh, that sounds delicious. Mm-hmm. Some spirits of animals that are typically associated with them do sacrifice. Chickens, for example, are often offered to Damballa. And that's pretty much all I got.
Yep, that's pretty much all I've got too. Although, I would be remiss without mentioning one of my favorite awful, awful, terrible movies of all time.
Okay.
King of the Zombies.
King of the Zombies.
Oh, it's terrible. I mean, need I say, Tahama, hey, voodoo priestess, to really explain why this movie is awful.
Oh, is this the 1941 one?
Yeah. Where you have these three guys in a plane and they crash. The first two are Whitey McWhitersons.
Mighty Ghosts.
Well, they are. They're totally Whitey McWhiterson.
Yeah.
And then they have their buddy, I don't remember his name, but he has great lines too, like, move over boys as one of the gang now.
Yeah.
When he has been zombified.
Zombified.
Oh, it's...
And then there's the classic Ghost Breakers with Bob Hope. 1940.
Yeah.
And it is just basically describing as Mary Carter inherits her family's ancestral home located on a small island off Cuba, and despite the warnings and death threats, decides to take possession of the reputedly haunted castle. She is joined by radio broadcaster Larry Lawrence, who, is played by Bob Hope, believing he has killed a mob gunman, flees New York with his butler. Once on the island, the threesome enter the eerie castle, and upon viewing the ghost of one of Mary's ancestors and fighting off a menacing zombie, they find the key to the castle's treasure when interrupted by an all-too-human foe. And I'm trying to find the clip because it's just so freaking hilarious. Quotes, here we go. Let's see if it actually listens here. Okay. It's worse than the horrible because the zombie has no will of his own. You see sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently, Bob Hope was not a Democrat.
No.
Yeah, it's... The zombie... I think we've talked about the zombie before on the show a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But
especially on our horror episode.
Yeah, that was our horror episode. And really, it is the common trope.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some scientific explanation for it. There's reportedly a powder that has been used, basically puts them in a catatonic state.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a lot of realistic research has been done.
Right.
So it's just one of those common tropes. And I think we should be done now, because you probably need some sleep, and I need some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And we have managed...
go quickly through our Thou Shalt Not.
Yeah, because we've managed to totally butcher this poor religion.
And
I had fun. I don't know about you, but I had fun.
Yeah, I hope that we shed a bit of light on this subject too.
Yeah.
Because while we're not especially well versed, we can still at least work like an intermediary.
Yeah. We try. We hope we turned you on to a little bit of information. So
and
Thou Shalt Nots.
And if you're not,
Thou Shalt Not tonight.
And if you don't feel like we've done a good job, then please feel free to do research of your own.
Mm-hmm. Contact us. Yell at us.
Yeah.
Go to Radioactive Walrus Entertainment on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Or contact us on Twitter at Radioactive Walrus.
Actually, it's Radio Walrus Pod.
Oh, Radio Walrus Pod. Okay.
Yeah. Now, our Thou Shalt Not for this week is kind of more of a what if than an actual Thou Shalt Not.
Okay.
But the idea is, if superheroes were real, this is what they would be like. Because every time you have a superhero on screen, they are misrepresented with some kind of sound effect or visual effect. Like The Flash, which was the prime example here.
Yeah.
The Flash would not go because he's going fast. Quite the opposite. He would be more inclined to go all sonic booms every 5 seconds, and then you hear because he's
a glass in a 5-block radius would explode.
Exactly. Central City would have no glass.
No.
So, from there...
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything we can do with this. I'm like,
Okay, question. Is Green Lantern's ring, are the products of Green Lantern's ring, forms of light?
Supposedly. They could form like a solid light, or solid matter light.
Okay.
It's comic books, man. These things are weird.
Yeah! Which is why I am looking... Which is part of why I thought this would be a great idea.
Comics physics are weird, man.
Tell me about it. No, there is some precedence for, like, the Green Lantern stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Recently we've had scientists who have made it so that photons can clump together into a solid form.
Yes, actually, holograms you can touch.
Yes.
They're like basically feel like sandpaper, is what I heard the description.
Mm-hmm.
Now, frankly, physics never seems to work very well, especially in comic movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care how many motion dampers Iron Man's armor has. When he's shooting at those incredible speeds and then suddenly, jerks to a stop,
Mm-hmm.
that poor man's heart, which has already got enough issues,
Yeah.
is going to explode.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why, astronauts do a lot of work in, high G environments, because they want to see how the human body's going to react.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even reading an article about the movie Rocky IV with Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone. And Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone kept going, "Come on, hit me. You can just give me one good punch." And Dolph Lundgren hit him. And Stallone's heart rebounded in the rib cage, and he had to go to the hospital.
Jeez.
Because his pericardial sac was swelling up.
The question would completely work. There's only one thing, and that's the lack of face, but that's very easy to fix.
Yes.
So, there you go, there's one.
The question would work. Green Arrow, not so much.
Yeah, the only way that he could really be...
Well, technically, the 1980s version of the Green Arrow, the one where they redesigned him to basically take him back to basics with just a longbow,
Yeah.
and the arrows, that could work. Unfortunately, all those weird specialty arrows, not so much.
I'd like to see that, though. Like, I want a arrow with a boxing glove on it. Because that's funny.
Oh, it's funny, but it's completely non-aerodynamic.
And Dinah said that a buzzsaw arrow was self-indulgent.
Batman, yeah, he could work as a fighter,
Yeah.
but not really anywhere else. Because, everything that need to run the Batcave, just the upkeep on the computer and such, Alfred and Robin are not going to be able to do that by themselves.
No. Could you imagine the antivirus software on the Bat computer?
He's using Ubuntu.
Oh. Ooh.
Hey, Batman's a Linux man.
I believe that.
Yeah. Superman, I don't know.
Superman is alien physiology. I don't think we can touch that.
No. Though I do remember the really hilarious Larry Niven's essay about Superman. Men of Steel, Women of Kleenex. And basically talking about how Superman can never have sexual relations with Lois Lane or any kind of female.
Yeah.
Human female, because, when you ejaculate, those are muscles you cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he'd end up blowing your head off.
It'd be like a shotgun.
Yeah, and it's like, the only people that he could ever impregnate are his cousin Supergirl, and that would just be ungentlemanly.
Yeah, that's definitely a way you can say that.
Yeah. Let's see. Spider-Man, he must have the most ridiculous strong joints. Because when he's doing all that swinging and such, I mean, there's only so much the parabolic arc can do before you start wrenching your arms out.
Exactly. There's actually a joke on Text from Superheroes where Hawkeye is trying to get Spider-Man to loan him one of the web shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, no, you'll rip your arm off.
Okay, dude. I actually have to...
To which Hawkeye then says, alright, then why don't we just give it to Winter Soldier? He's always losing them.
Hey, there you go. Unfortunately, dude, I really got to use the John, so we're
Yeah,
going to cut this short.
yeah, that's fine.
All right, so...
So from all of us here at Radioactive Walrus Entertainment, Dan's domicile
And the creepy haunted house in New Orleans.
it's not creepy or haunted.
Well, then it's not a house in New Orleans. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been Late Night Taco Delivery.
You may now place your order. Yeah, now take your order. Okay.
Late Night Taco Delivery is performed by Daniel Gill and Jonathan Knoll, and was created by Daniel Gill. New Bizarre opening by Jonathan Knoll. If you have questions, comments, or a suggestion for a future show, drop us a line on Twitter at Radio Walrus Pod. Like Radioactive Walrus Entertainment on our Facebook, or subscribe to our official YouTube channel, Radioactive Walrus. That's Radioactive with a capital R, Walrus with a capital W, and no spaces. Thank you for calling Late Night Taco Delivery. You may now place your orders. This has been a production of Radioactive Walrus Entertainment.
John, what do chickens say?